Okay, 15.5, transforming exponential functions. So very, very similar to what we did in 15.4. We're going to do a lot of this using the calculator. Just some things we want to continue to address in terms of our values. So just a reminder, what did we talk about? We said if B, which is R, or common ratio, is a fraction less than 1, then that means our function's decreasing. And then if A is, if it's being multiplied by a negative, remember it flips it over the x-axis. Okay, those are the basic transformations. Now, we're not going to deal with it in Algebra 1, but in Algebra 2, remember our thing we did with absolute value and quadratic and vertex form. If it's with the x, it's not what you think. So if I did like x plus 2, that really moves it to the left 2. So all those are things that we want to think about when we're doing transformations. So we talk about, it refers to it again as vertical stretch, vertical compression in terms of what it's being multiplied by. So if it's being multiplied by a big number, it's stretching it, which makes it skinnier. We talked about that with the rubber band. If it's being multiplied by a fraction, less than 1, then it's compressing it, which makes it wider. And again, referring to the rubber band. So you can look at the example they've done and kind of, mimic those. Remember right here, we want to talk about in behavior too, okay? So they've written it backwards from what we did. We would say as x goes to infinity, then y would do this, and they're using f of x notation. So right here, we're going to look at the your term problems and do those real quick here. Okay, so it says graph each function, describe the in behavior, and find the y-intercept. Okay, so first of all, let's think about it logically. If this is bigger than 1, that means it's going to be increasing. So my function would be doing this. But then I'm multiplied by a negative. So that means it's going to flip it, which means it's going to be doing this. Then this is multiplied by 0.5, which means it's going to compress it, which means it's going to make it wider. It's going to make it go out further. Okay, so just in general, that's what my graph should look like. Now, the way we're going to do that is we're going to get points, just like we did in the previous module lesson. So I'm going to start with x, y1. Remember, I'm putting this in for y1 here. And I'd try -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2 because, again, it's wanting us to find the y-intercept, which is at 0. So I just go on the calculator. I'm going to type that function in, -0.5, parenthesis, 1.5 raised to the x. Go to my table. So at -2, it's -0.2 repeating. At -1, it's -0.3 repeating. At 0, it's -0.5. At 1, it's -0.75. And at 2, it's -1.125. Okay, so we just plot those points. So -2 is -0.2, -1 is -0.3, 0 is -0.5, 1 is -0.75, and at 2 is -1.125. So it's made it out wide. Now, if you need more points, you could go ahead and add 3 here and look at the value at 3, which is -1.688. So that would be like right here. So again, it fits what we've been talking about, okay? It's going to compress it, so make it wider. It's going down the motion we talked about before. There's our y-intercept in our table of values. We describe in behavior now. So again, they're writing it backwards. So they're saying f of x does what as x goes to -infinity. So we trace it going to the left, and it flattens out at 0. And remember how we said infinite behavior has to be doing 0 and then either infinity or -infinity. So as x goes to +infinity, so we trace the function going to the right, that is going down to -infinity. And I should know that because, again, it's being multiplied by a negative number, which meant it's got to be going down. Okay. So let's go to the next problem. Go a little bit faster here, so I'm going to slide this over. Think about logically again. This is bigger than 1, so it's got to increase. multiply by 4, so it's going to vertically stretch it, so it's going to make it skinny. It's going to make it go up really fast here. We're going to find our table of values again. So x, y1, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and put the equation in the calculator. And then go to my table. So at -2, it's -1 point, or sorry, not negative, it should be positive 1.78, we'll just round. -1, it's 2.6, repeating, 0, it's 4, 6, and then 9. So we plot those points, so about right here, and then about right here, here, 1 and 6, and 2, and, okay, so 9's not even on there. So what's it do? It is making it go up really fast. Okay, so it is pretty skinny there. And there's our y-intercept. We do our in behavior. So f of x goes to 0. So let's think about this. When's it going to 0? So it's flattening out as I go to the left. So that is as x goes to -infinity. And f of x is going to positive infinity because it's going up as x goes to the right. Okay. All right, that's on. So again, it's kind of the same principle. We're just changing values, seeing what happens to the graph, okay, and they go through explanations here. So again, we're going to go to the your turn. This time, we have a value here that is less than 1, so that means it's going to be making it decrease. It's multiplied by 2, so it's going to make it skinny. It's going to make it decrease faster. Again, we just put the equation in our calculator. And we go to our table. We're going to put our values in. So have x, y1, trying to squeeze them in here, -2 and 5.6. I'm rounding, -1, 3.3, 0, 2, 1, 1.2, and 2.72. So again, we just kind of guesstimate where these values are. 5.6. -1 and 3.3, 0 and 2, 1 and 1.2, and then 2 and 0.72. So it is going down. It flattens out here. There's my y-intercept. F of x goes to infinity as x goes to the left. Okay, so as we go to the left, it's going up. And then f of x goes to 0 as x goes to the right. So as you trace it to the right, it flattens out at 0. So really pretty easy. Okay, I'm not going to do this one, but I am going to talk about what's this do. It's going to make it decrease again, but the negative is going to flip it over. So when it flips it over the x-axis, it's actually going to go up. Because this is a number less than 1, it's going to make it flat or compress it, which makes it wider, so it should be something like that. So again, just understanding those concepts. Let's go ahead and go to these, okay? Graph the functions together on the same coordinate plane, find the y-intercepts, and explain how they relate to the translation of the graph. So all I want to do is talk about the translation itself, because now we've kind of seen how to graph them, and you can graph them on the calculator. So what I want to look at is how are the equations different? Okay, so in this case, we have this +4. Is that with the x? No, it is not. If it's with the x, it would have been in the exponent. So if it's not with the x, remember, think about what we did in class. You've got your head outside of the absolute value bars, parentheses, whatever. It is what you think, up and down. So what's that +4 do? That means it shifts it up 4 units. Okay. Now, let's talk about the y-intercept a little bit, because we've not really focused on this, but when we talked about the form, remember we've had f of n equals f of 0 times r to the n, or in this case we've been doing f of x equals a times b to the x. Well, this is our y-intercept, or our zero term. Okay, so what's being multiplied right here? What's being multiplied in front of the 0.4? Well, that's 1. So 1 is our zero term. In other words, that's what initially would be our y-intercept. However, when you shift it up 4, we go from 1, and then we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, which is going to put it at 5. So in the original one here, our y-intercept's 1, but then we shift it up 4, and that moves it to 5. So all it's doing is moving every point up 4 units. That's going to be real important to you in Algebra 2, okay? All right, so let's talk about this one. Where's the y-intercept for the initial one? It's at 2, so I'm going to put a point at 2, okay? But what did this do? It's not with EX, so that means it shifts down 3 units. Okay, so let's think about that. If I'm going to shift this down 3, 1, 2, 3, that's going to put me at -1. So the new y-intercept here is at -1. Even though this is our quote-unquote zero term, that shift has moved it down. So there is where our y-intercept is going to be. Now, as far as behavior goes, what's going to happen? This is bigger than 1, so that's going to make it go up. It's multiplied by 2, so that's going to make it skinnier and make it go up faster. So that's what our general graph would look like. Again, you can graph it by putting it in the calculator and getting points. Okay, so this is all about just graphing transformations, how there are changes, and then you'll be working on, obviously, the homework online here.